the sailor, Barnacle Bill the sailor. Ahoy, 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 a ship ahoy! I'm old and rough and dirty and tough, said Barnacle Bill the sailor. I never can get drunk enough, said Barnacle Bill the sailor. I drink my whiskey when I can, my whiskey from an old tin can. For whiskey is the life of man, said Barnacle Bill the sailor.
Yo-ho, 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 yo-ho.
Drop your decks and wash your necks, oh boy, what a show! We twist the count for miles around, come on, let's go, yo-ho, let's go. Hey!
A sailor's life is always wild
And free.
We sing and we play, we wait every day. We're always broke when we go back to sea.
A sailor's life, the life.
For me.
Attention. No one leaves this ship.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, there.
Oh, yeah. That's the one.
It's only me from over the sea. I'm Barnacle Bill the sailor. I'm all lit up like a Christmas tree. I'm Barnacle Bill the sailor. I'll sail the sea until I croak. I fight and swear and drink and smoke, but I can't swim a bloomin' stroke. I'm Barnacle Bill the sailor.
Are you young and handsome, sir? Are you young and handsome, sir? Are you young and handsome, sir?
I'm old and rough and dirty and tough. I never can get drunk enough. I drink my whiskey when I can, whiskey from an old tin can, for whiskey is the life of man.
I'll come down and let you in. I'll come down and let you in. I'll come down and let you in.
Well, hurry before I bust in the door. I'll rear and tear and rant and roar. I'll spin you yarns and tell you lies. I'll drink your wine and eat your pies. I'll kiss your cheeks and black your eyes.
Sing me a love so low and sweet. Sing me a love so low and sweet.
Says the fair young maiden.
16 men on a dead man's chest.
Said Barnacle Bill the sailor.
Yo-he-ho in a bottle of rum. sailor.
Tell me that we soon shall wed. Tell me that we soon shall wed. Tell me that we soon shall wed.
I've got me a wife in every port. I'm Barnacle Bill the sailor. The handsome gals is what I court. I'm Barnacle Bill the sailor. With my false heart and flattering tongue, I courts them all, both old and young. I courts them all, but marries none. I'm Barnacle Bill the sailor.
When shall I see you again? When shall I see you again? When shall I see you again?
Never again I'll come no more. I'm Barnacle Bill the sailor. Tonight I'm sailing from this shore. I'm Barnacle Bill the sailor. If you wait for me to come, settin' and waiting and sucking your thumb, you'll wait until the cows come home. I'm Barnacle Bill the sailor. Goodbye.
Oh, well, that's it. I know.
Let's go!
And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish.
All right, am I comfy? I'm probably comfy.
And a red fish.
All right, let's just double check YouTube.
Red fish, blue fish.
All right, am I comfy?
Fish,
I'm probably comfy.
fish, and a red fish.
All right, let's just double check YouTube. YouTube is good. I am still working on the Crossroads dress. I'm going to do a little bit of work on that. And if I can make some good progress in about an hour, we'll switch over to starting a new dress. That's the plan for today. So let's take a look at where we are. Things I need to do. I added a belt because I'm insane. So it's got a pouch on this side. Here, we'll show it off. And what I need to do is I need to rig some morphs so that when this leg bends, the pouch looks okay. So we're going to work on that a little bit. Hopefully I can then set up the process for saving all the material files. And then I don't know. and then maybe if I can do that in about an hour or so, maybe launch Marvelous Designer and start a new project over there. I'm thinking a simple dress maybe will make heels to go with it. Maybe jewelry for this one. I haven't done jewelry in a little while. Yo, Acellus, what is the Crossroads outfit? Good question. It's the current project. We'll show it off. How you been, buddy? Here we go. So it comes with a dress. Oh no, I broke it. Maybe it doesn't come with the dress. Oh, that was the outfit. The outfit's broken. I broke the outfit. There we go. So it's a kind of a lacy up the side dress, and in the front, I'm also including shorts. Not that you can see them, but they're under there. And also boots. Got a pair of boots that goes with it. And yesterday I thought that was looking a little plain, so I decided to add a belt. And so we got a little belt with a pouch. So that's this outfit. I have to resave this with the button and the buckle back on it. Been busy? Oh, is it good busy or just, oh my God, I'm going to kill myself busy? I'm a little busy today, but not too bad. So nothing to do with the UK soap crossovers then. No, I'm not familiar with that. I was thinking more, wasn't there a Ralph Macchio movie called Crossroads? Not that that's was the actual inspiration. I was thinking of like a traveler, a fantasy themed traveling outfit. That was the inspiration for that. And so I decided to add a belt with a pouch, which makes it more travel-y. So today I have a couple of things I want to work with the belt. I want to get that so that see the pouch doesn't work well. I'm going to hide the rest of the outfit. We're just going to focus on the belt right now. And basically what I need the belt to do is that pouch to bend better when we do the legs side by side. So we're going to fix that, and we're going to make some morphs that'll work with it. And also when that leg goes forward. So I'm going to tweak it so that it looks okay when it goes to about 90%, 90. So we're going to tweak that. First things first is we're going to change the rigging so that we don't have any of the deformations from the joints. So that's what's on tap for today. And then I'm going to try to set it up for saving materials. And then maybe in 50 minutes, we'll switch over to trying to start a new outfit with Marvelous Designer if this goes well. This should go well. I actually do need Marvelous Designer for what I'm going to do here. Yo, Charles, you found a scabbard that would work well with your sword. You're curious, instead of making a belt, could you look at the image I showed you and maybe create 2 leather straps that come up? I might be able to do that. We'll tentatively plan for tomorrow. Hola, it's Mr. Leo. And Charles, good to see you, man. Asalis doesn't have a sound. I still have to make a sound for naps more. And I think we still need a sound for Leo. I forget, what was the sound we were going to use for Leo? Leo, what was that sound? We actually have a Leo command, too. So things to do. I think I actually have to make a naps more command and then add a sound to it. It doesn't have to be tomorrow. Okay. And then Leo, we still want to add a sound for Leo's command. So anyhow, we're going to do a little bit of work on the rigging. I think this goes all the way to 90. Side to side. We had decided, oh yeah, the MGM or Leonidas. Here, let me write that down so I can forget later. And then I could, actually, if I write it down, it stands a lot better chance of being remembered. Not that I actually have to, often I don't even have to refer to the note if I bother to lie down. Okay, sound for Leo, either MGM Lion or I can't spell Leonidas from 300. There we go. I'll put that off to the side. Okay, first things first, I'm going to stop the pouch from doing that when we bend the leg. So we're going to come over here and we're just going to remove I'm just going to make a custom morph that'll do this instead. And it's the left thigh, but the left thigh doesn't actually do anything. Here, let's get the weight map brush up. And come over here to tools and click on that. And look, no weights, because the weights are hidden down here. We're going to select everything. Can I do that from here? Geometry, selection, select all. Yep. Then I'm just going to come here and we're just going to clear that out. So we're just going to do weight editing and fill selection with 0. And then we have another one right here. We're going to clean. That doesn't do anything. What else do I have? I have it in the pelvis. It's not getting... You will send the asset with the scabbard in a little while and you can pull the files you need. Sounds good, Charles. All right. If I redo that. So what's causing... Oh, I know what's causing it. There are joint morphs. There are morphs in there. So we're not going to worry about those. This is launching corrective morphs. Okay, and also I want to... When that leg bends that way, I don't want this deforming. It doesn't really seem like it deforms much anyhow. We're going to fix that. So back to the left thigh. Actually, I think I already cleaned that out, didn't I? Yeah, so that's probably it. So we're going to make a morph so that when the leg's bent 90, that won't get clipped by that. And you can actually bend the leg further. Maybe not. But I'm not going to worry about legs bent that far. I'm just going to put a note that the pouch only works with a certain, without, you're working on other stuff, so you have several windows open in Google Chrome. You got the audio up, and I will be listening. All right, no worries, man. Here's the Leo command that we got to add a sound for. All right, so I'm going to, we're going to make a morph for bending the leg, and we're going to set up an corrective body shape or something, or JCM, or whatever the hell you want to call it these days. I think it's what, -90. And let's export that out. And let's come over here and let's make a file for the belt for the Genesis 9. I did the Genesis 8 earlier, so I actually have some idea what I'm doing now. I had to watch one of Jay's videos to remember how to do complicated morph progressions. Belt G9, let's do that. This is going to be bend leg -90 G9. What I want to do is I want to make a series of 3 morphs for the sides. So we're going to set this up. So we're going to go side to side. Is it 30? Yeah, we're going to do a side to side 30. And I'm going to make a morph that'll make that look okay. So let's export that. This is side leg 30. Okay, then we'll go 60. Export that. You didn't know you had a command? No worries. Hey, Dapster Dan, subscribe to the channel. Dude, Dapster Dan. Everybody should check out Dapster Dan. Dapster Dan is awesome, dude. Seriously. Good to see you, Dan. And it's been good to see you on Twitch. If you were streaming Thursday, I think I totally spaced and missed it. Honestly, though, one of my favorite people on Twitch, Dapster Dan. Check him out if you can. Wonderful musician and good friend. How does this work? There you go. Something like that. Thank you, Charles. Did I save this? I haven't saved this yet. We're doing morphs in clothes. This is a belt that's part of an outfit. So we're going to make morphs that'll make this bag move out nicely when the leg bends. That's what we're doing right now. And also we'll probably make a morph that'll open the top while we're at it. Of course, that won't work really well with the other morphs, but we'll have one in the default position. What am I doing? I'm exporting the Genesis. That's my export button. I'm going to overwrite that. We're going to say 60 here. Let's save that and accept that. And then I want one more with the leg all the way to the side at 90. That's pretty much as far as it goes. If I went from 0 to 90, the morph would look a little weird. So smoothing it out a little bit with multiple morphs, which of course just complicates things, but that's okay. Jay showed me the way. WP Guru, baby. Found one of his videos and found the little snippet that says do this. And I'm going, that's it. It's like most videos when I can't remember how to do something. I usually just need like a 20-second portion of a video. So there's like 20 seconds in Jay's 20-minute video that I actually needed, but that's okay. I support Jay on Ko-fi, so there, it's worth it. Thanks for the shout out. Sadly, can't stick around, but just getting done with your afternoon. I appreciate. Oh, by the way, there's the dyslexic heart for the sub, man. Just getting done with your afternoon break and saw you were live. Leaving an alert. Appreciate it, Dan. Where am I doing here? I'm accepting that, and we're exported out. Now we're going to make our morphs in Marvelous Designer. I'm going to reset this. We're going to launch Marvelous Designer. It's just easier for me to. This is all set up. I think this should work. I got to check something. I may or may not have. There's a little material zone in here I need to get rid of at some point. And I'm not sure if it's still in this one or not. So we're just going to come over here and check, go to our surfaces. This also tells me what I need to do when okay, I did delete the little things. I can actually morph this belt, and I will at some time to actually open up. All right, we got Marvelous Designer activated. Let me get this so I can still see chat. There we go. G9 avatars. Actually, file open project, because we have this saved as Crossroads G9 was the last version. So this should be good. So we're just going to make morphs that moves this back. I'm going to freeze the belt because we don't need it moving around. And I have to remember to not include those two little pieces when we export. And now what we're going to do is load in those shapes that we made earlier. Did I just select you? I did. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to pop over to here and grab those morphs. You know what? I'm going to just, we're just going to navigate over there. File, import, add OBJ. And I'm close to the right file. The right file is right there. So what I want, we'll start with the leg bend first. We'll fix that. That's an easy one to rig up as a fix. Is this all right? I think this is all right. So when we bring this in, we get that, and you can kind of see how the leg's in the way of the belt. So when we run the sim, the pouch will move out of the way. And then we're going to save the belt with the pouch in that position. So, and I'm just going to pull it up a little bit off the leg, and we're going to, and that's going to be my correction morph right there. So grab all of that. Hopefully this works. And then deselect those. Yo, Farrell, how are you doing? Have I talked to Rod? He was here Saturday. I think you mentioned Joe broke her leg and had a dislocation. Was supposed to have surgery. I'm not sure if she's had the surgery yet, or and then she goes into rehab. That was the plan. And that was what he said, I think, on Saturday. You need to check the leg on general. Oh no, there's more. Oh no, I haven't seen it yet. It just got posted. All right, I'm gonna quickly read this. Some sad announcements to make. I'm gonna be gone for the foreseeable future. Please read the updates below. I'll return at some point. Oh no, I'm gonna have to read that up later on, I think. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. And let me. I'm gonna. Oh, he posted this over on Renderosity. Let's see. I'm gonna just read I think the first paragraph. Maybe not. Okay, where are we? Okay, I'm off. Have another storm here. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, we had one Friday night going into Saturday, so I cleared the driveway then. Then we had more snow yesterday, so I cleared it again this morning. I can't concentrate on Rod's thing right now, but I will check it out later. So anyhow, if anybody wants to follow up on that, feel free to check the Discord. There's the link over to Rod's Renderosity, and you can read for yourself there. Is this good? Did I save this? I am going to save this. All right. Da, 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 da. Did I export? I'm going to export file. Export. OBJ selected. What I want is, what did I call these? I called them all Ben Pouch because I was lazy. I'm going to call you Ben Pouch 4. These are all going to be hidden later on, but they'll Ben Pouch 4. So I'm going to say that is Ben Pouch 4. We're going to pop over into DAS and make sure this is working right. That's not working, but we'll say thin and welded, and we don't want that selected. I'm going to say okay to that. Oh, hold on a second. Sorry about that. I think that was a woodpecker on the house again. I thought the partner was knocking at the door. All right. Let's take a quick check over here. I want to make sure that this is going to work. Oh, hold on a second. I'm going to shoo a woodpecker away. All right, I'm coming back. Little pecker managed to sneak past all the vesicles we got sitting out there. Um, Anyhow, let's see. Mining camera. Where's my stream? There we go. That looks vaguely like me. All right, we are loading in a morph target. Choose. We're going to come over to this folder. And I'm going to do that one there. And open that. And accept. And did I have the right thing selected? I did not have the right thing selected. That makes a difference. That's probably the biggest reason why my imports fail. Second biggest reason is the geometries don't match. That's the wrong thing. I want that one there. All right, let's try this. Accept that. I think that worked. Let's come over here and just double check. Oh no, I didn't scale it right. Let's do scaling. Actually, scaling is the second reason why I screw up morphs. Come over here. You know what? You're supposed to say crisp blender scale by default. All right, let's try that. And now let's try our... So what we're going to do is we're going to rig it so that when this leg bends, that morph will come in. This is a pretty simple setup. So we're going to come down to here, and what we want is this left thigh. And I want to, actually, we want to dial this in, right? So take that, and we're going to put it to 100. And we're going to bend that leg to 90, minus 90, so that when the leg does that, and you know what, there's a JCM that's kicking in, and we want to kind of counteract that. So I'm going to reload this morph with that JCM activated to sort of counter that shape. And accept that. And once again, I had the wrong thing selected. Stimpy, you fool. There we go. Okay, so now that's the shape I want it to be in. When it looks like this. Going for your walk for a bit. I'll leave a... Hey, Napswar, appreciate it, man. Take care. See you when you get back. If you get back in time. Enjoy the walk. All right, we're going to do a fix here. We're going to select this. We're going to come over here. We're going to go into edit mode first. Then I'm going to come to bend. We're going to do an ERC freeze on this. And what I want is when the leg gets bent, I want the belt pouch to activate. So I'm just going to uncheck everything else. And then accept that. And it reset everything. I keep forgetting about that. We'll just hide everything again. And now when we bend this leg, we should see our morph kick in. And this morph only is good for 90. I'm not going to cover more extreme poses like that because that's clipping through the belt itself. So I think we're kind of good in there. I'm getting a little bit of clipping there, but I'm going to put a note that legs shouldn't be bent more than 90. We'll see if anybody actually pays attention. We'll see if the tester actually reads that. All right, now we're going to set the side-to-side morphs. We're going to do these in 3 sets, so kind of like this, except I have to create a special controller. And that's what I needed Jay's video from earlier today for. So Marvelous Designer. We're just going to go back to where we were. So we're just kind of like that. And now we're just going to bring in file, import, add, OBJ. We'll start with the 30. And I think we're just clipping a little bit, so we're going to simulate this and pull that bag out off that leg. And I'm just going to pull it up a little bit higher. And we're going to save that shape. And I don't want those. File, export, OBJ selected. This is going to be 01. I probably should have named them something more meaningful, but oh well. C'est la vie. All right, thin, welded, and we don't want to export the button that's on there. Okay, so that's good. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to load in the next one. The one with the leg at 60. Say okay to that. Okay, we're going to simulate that to get that bag off that leg. And we're going to let it pop out. And then we're just going to pull it up a little bit so there's a little bit extra room there so we can kind of get the it'll allow us to fit the outfit in between there when it simulates. All right, we're going to select that. Deselect those two. File and export. OBJ selected. This is going to be 2. Clever me would have. I was lazy earlier. I should have just called this side 30, side 60, side 90 or something. Once again, thin and weld. Send the assets to you. All right. Scabbard is a prop inside of it. Sounds good, Charles. All right. We don't want to select those because that's the button and the buttonhole, and we don't want to export those. Should be good. All right. Now we're going to do the last one. Put the leg at 90. Leg 90. Okay. The simulation. Hopefully it'll want to come. Just kind of try to pull that out a little bit. Get a little bit more of a gap in between those like that. That should be good. And now let's export these and see how our morphs load in. That and that. I'm going to load these morphs in one at a time. So they actually will use the other morph as a starting shape. Because I'm going to stack these morphs up on top of each other. OBJ selected. You're number 3. And save that. And once again, thin, weld, and no button or buttonholes. Okay. All right, now we're going to set this up. I'm going to load these in one at a time. We're just going to load them in on top of each other. And by that, I mean, we got our belt selected. So I'm going to do that, do this. We're going to load in the first one, accept that. And then we're going to dial that up. And then we're going to load in the second one with this set to 100. And that's kind of what I mean by stacking them up. They're all going to be at 100 when the last one gets set up. Choose. Okay, so we're going to do 2. Open that. Accept. That looks like it worked. All right, so we're going to dial that in. And that's what the second one supposed to look like. Now we'll load in the third one. I think this is good. And then when we dial that in, so we're going to set up a control that's going to kind of activate these in series. And actually, you know, I should load those in with the leg bent. So we're going to redo those. Sorry, I forgot. Because there's JCMs in here that impacts the shape here. So I probably should load those in with the JCMs. So we're going to redo these. Because, nope, that's the wrong thing. So if I do side to side 30, you can kind of see how that moved a little bit from the JCM. So we're going to just reload that. So I'm going to turn these two to 0. We'll reload them back in. And then we're just going to reload the first one. Should be good. We should see that change just a little bit for the better. Is good. Now we're just going to bend you to 60. Come back over here. We'll dial the other one in and reload it. That's a little cleaner. Okay, and then we're going to set you to 90. And we'll reload that last one in here. So we'll dial that back up to 100. And bring that one back in. Much better. A little bit better. All right, now I'm going to set up a control that's going to activate these in series. And there's a timeline trick. Control Shift E. I'm not sure what it's called. Control Shift F. There we go. So I need the timeline to set this up. First things first, I'm going to make a new property. I'm going to call you pouch side side. And I'm going to use these to turn these morphs on one at a time. And over here, we're going to set that to 0. This is the part I got from Jay this morning, and we're going to create that. So now what I want to do is I want to set up a timeline in here. I'm just going to use 7 frames, and we're just going to go to every other one. So we're going to come here, set that leg to side to 30. And then over here, we're going to set the leg to 60. And then over here, we're going to put it to 90. We're going to pop back over to here. And we're going to dial these morphs in. So the first one gets dialed to 100 at this point. Is good. And I don't know, if I say 0 and 0, is it going to remember that, or do I have to come back? Okay, at this point, we're going to dial the other one back in. And I still want that one to stay 0. And then over here, we want that last morph to come in, like so. Okay, so I think we're good to go. Come back over to here. So as that leg moves up, the morphs kick in and shape it to fit better. Something like that. That'll be fine. Nope. All right, I'm going to put this back to the beginning. We're going to take this pouch side to side. This does nothing right at the moment, but we're going to set it up to launch these when this bends. So we're going to do a ERC freeze with that. And right here, we're going to do this key extract play range like that. I'm going to uncheck that one there. And we're just going to accept these. That did not go right. I always get these wrong. What the hell? Oh, I know. And then there we go. That's what it's supposed to do. It looks a little weird because it's supposed to be tied in with the leg. So we're going to tie that in with the leg. So we're just going to get that leg all the way over. Then we're just going to come back over here and dial that. And then we're going to ERC freeze the side to side on the leg to activate that controller we just made. So, and then dial that up. So that's kind of what it's supposed to look like. Then we're just going to come down here to the left thigh, side to side. We'll do an ERC freeze on that. And what I want is, I just want it to activate this here. So we'll just click all this other stuff off. And accept that. And everything came back because I keep forgetting to uncheck that. Somebody thought that was useful. It wasn't me. All right, let's see how this works. Fingers crossed. I am looking for the left thigh. And we're just going to do side to side on that. I'm kind of happy with that. It kind of is doing. It's kind of doing what it's supposed to do. All right, so that's that. I'm going to save out the belt. We're going to put the buckle back on, and we're going to attach the button, and we're going to save it again. Where am I? I got the belt saved. Let's do this. Let's go over to the Genesis 9 folder for these. Right there. Nope, right there. Save that. Hey, the target file already exists. Would you like to replace it? Hell yeah. Me, Crossroads, belt is good. Okay, let me see what we got. I don't need the timeline anymore, so I can close that. And are we in G9 over here? Yep, there's a button. Let me see, where's that button loading in at? You're down there. Okay, we'll get back to you in a minute. And the buckle, where did the buckle go? Oh, maybe not. There's the button. There's the buckle. Okay. I'm going to make these little homes for it. We're going to add some rigid follow nodes in here. I'm going to switch over to wire texture shaded so I can kind of see what I'm doing. So I want to put a rigid follow node right there. Activate the geometry tool. Select the belt. Oh, everything's still selected from earlier. It's clear selection. Select that. Right click. Geometry assignment and create rigid follow node. This will be node button. Node button. Okay, accept that. What part of the belt is this going? Is this on the pelvis? That looks like the pelvis. So let's parent that to the pelvis. Now I'm going to zero that out. And then I'm going to pop over here, go to display, and make it invisible. I'm just going to hit that button to memorize it, and I'm going to lock it. And memorize again. And then I'm going to take the button, parent it to that, and is it Control E? I'm going to move that just a little bit because we got a little bit of displacement that's going to kick in. So I'm just going to bring that up a little. Maybe align it a little bit better like so. That looks pretty good. All right, we're going to memorize that. Okay, and then we're just going to do kind of the same thing for the belt buckle. I'm going to hide that because I want to get on the inside. I want to put a rigid follow node right about there. There's a little loop back here. I had thought that was sewn up in the back, but apparently it didn't end up that way. Right here, let me see. All right, do that. So somewhere about, I have the right thing. I don't have the right thing selected. Oh, I put that on the shorts. You're supposed to be on the belt. Wait a second. I'm going to move you back over there. It should be fine. I'm just going to rememorize everything. Now I'm in the right spot. There we go. I'm going to put a rigid follow node right there. Create rigid follow node. There we go. This is going to be node buckle. Okie dokie. I think, what are we on here? I think this is spine 1. Yep, that's spine 1. So I'm going to parent that to spine 1. Then we'll take our buckle, put that there. If we restore that, it needs a little bit of positioning, but it's pretty close. So it's sitting a little high, so we'll bring it down a little. And I need to pull it forward a little. So we're going to get it inside of that. And I need to rotate it just a little. Kind of like somewhere in there. Yo, Art, how you doing? Where's my... There it is. It's a little finicky. That's pretty close, I think. I'm going to do a quick render here to see where we are with this. There's a little bit of displacement on there, so that hole on the belt pops a little bit. So I'm going to need to rotate that in a chin. I want to twist it just a little bit and rotate it towards the belt a bit to get this to line up in that hole a little bit better. Doing all right. Nobody's a bit, and she's napping. I am sorry to hear that. Yeah, I hope nobody's feeling better soon. And then just a little more that way. All right, let's see how that's... Nice belt, which they... Don't they make them like that? That's pretty close. You can see it clipping. I think I might live with that. We're going to memorize our buckle like that. That's a shiny brass, but there's nothing in the scene really to reflect. You know, the rule with metallics is you got to have something in the scene to reflect it, or else it just looks weird. So right now it just looks weird. Yours is much nicer. Oh, thanks. Mine's pretty simple. I was going for something that would work in a medieval setting. Or kind of a fantasy setting. All right, we're going to memorize the belt buckle. We're ready to save that out. I'm going to quickly set up for materials, and then we're going to pop over and make a short dress. in Marvelous Designer. So anyhow, I'm going to do that. I'm going to resave the morphs just to make sure that it did it right. And now we're going to select the Genesis 9 that you can't see in here and say this is a wearable preset. So it'll load with the belt buckle and the button on the pouch. Oh, I need to make we'll do the open morph too. I'm going to say this is a wearable preset first before I forget. And overwrite that and say save and yes. And then what we're going to do is we're going to uncheck everything but the belt and accept that. Okay, let's pop back over to Marvelous Designer for a minute. And let's see how far, if I can undo this back to the beginning or if I'm just going to reload it. I haven't saved. I'm not going to save this file. This is just kind of working. So I want to, you know what? We'll just reopen. File, open, project. If it says save, don't. Crossroads G9. Open. Yep. Okay. All right. Is good. So what we want to do is we want to undo this. And I just want to lift that up, which means I'm going to freeze everything but that part right there. So there, we frozen everything. I don't even need that button. And then we'll unfreeze that. And I'm going to do that. And let's see if we can get that to open up. Maybe I didn't want to do that. That might change the... If this doesn't load in properly when we use it as a morph target, I'm going to redo this. So I'm just going to try to get this to come up around here. I'm going to do this for G8 at some point too. I should probably smooth that out too. You know what? I'm going to freeze that because that's looking... I'm fairly happy with that. We're going to unfreeze that. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try to just pull it out a little, maybe. And I'm going to use that as an open morph. It's going to be a little funky because I'm not going to make it closed, because the button's going to still be on the outside. If I wanted an open version, I should probably say that separately with the button actually attached down here, but I think I'm going to skip that. Let's do that. File, export, OBJ selected. This is going to be, I'm just going to say open. I'll just do that. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. And let's see if that works. Pop over here, select our belt, and load in that as a morph target. Wait a minute, I wasn't paying attention when I exported this. I'm going to do it again. I feel like I skipped steps. No, that's a cancel. That I want to export. OBJ selected. Open. Because I forgot. I want to uncheck that, and we want to do thin and welded. There we go. That should be better. All right, let's load this in as a morph target. Open. Accept that. It seems to have worked. We're going to do a little bit of adjustment on this. We'll just come over here to properties. I'm going to change the color to be specials. We're also going to set a path up. Do I have an actor path in here? I do. Do I have a special path in here? I don't. So this is the first special morph. So we'll put that in special. I think we're good otherwise. accept that. Now we come over here, special. There's the open morph, does that. I'm going to tweak that. I'm going to also make it not go into the negative. So we'll set it from 0 to 100. It's a little weird. If you kind of open it like halfway, it kind of shrinks, right? Because that's the way it works. The way the morphs work are kind of linear. But that'll do. And it'll probably get weirdly deformed if you bend the legs and things. Anywho, there we go. We've added our special morph. I'm going to go ahead and save that as a asset, a modifier asset. There we go. I'm just going to save just this right there. Open. I should say open pouch. Let's change that to open pouch, because I'm going to have open left side and open right side on this as well. So maybe a little more meaningful. And you know what? I'm going to change that. So I'm probably going to end up with an extra morph that's going to say open in my data directory. I almost made AI cry today. Asked it, should I revarnish a Stradivarius? And I got, you should absolutely not revarnish. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't even see Google. Oh man, you pissed it off good, dude. I think this is good. I'm going to accept that. I'm going to resave it. Because I changed the first name up there, I should like end up with an extra morph in my data. We'll go clean that up. Fantasy, Crossroads, the data folder. Chris Cox, Crossroads. This is the belt for G9. There's the morphs. Those morphs for me. That's the base product. And I should actually have two things that say open. One should probably just say open, and one says open pouch. So I'm going to get rid of this one because I don't need it anymore. There we go. That makes more sense. Okay, I'm done with this. I'm going to set up a special object for making materials. So what I need is the belt and the buttons get saved separately, but I want that. I'm going to get rid of everything and load things in one at a time. I'm going to actually restart, give myself a clean start, and should give me what I need. Okay, I'm going to close you before I accidentally save. I don't want to save that. Nope. And let's see if Daz is ready to relaunch, or if I have to wait another minute. I think I have to wait another minute. It looks like Daz closed, but it's still doing stuff in the background. And now it's done, so I can launch it again. Okay. I don't know if I've updated yet to the non-3D light version of Daz. I don't think I have. I've been lazy. Oh no, I accidentally saved my startup with everything in it. Let's fix that. I'm going to relaunch. Did I save? I think I saved. I hit the button too soon. There we go. So I'm going to get the dress in here. I'm going to get the belt in here. I'm going to take the buckle and the button off the belt. We're going to get the boots in here. So here, we'll start with the belt, and I want to remove the, oh, I was supposed to hide that. Dang it. I'll hide it later. A lot of people leave that visible. I don't know. I think it's just not necessary. So I generally make that rigid follow node invisible. You don't really need to see it. Or do you? Do you like seeing the rigid follow nodes because it lets you know that there's a rigid follow nodes there? Anyhow, I'm going to get rid of those. Let's get the dress in here. I'm going to move the dress off to the side. Let's get the pair of boots in here. And let's get the shorts in here. And I'm going to move the shorts right there. We're going to export all of this out and then re-import it. But I think before we do that, we're going to clean the materials. I'm just going to export it. We'll clean the materials when we bring it back. So anyhow, we're going to select the belt, the dress, the boots, and the shorts, and we're going to export that as one OBJ all together. One big happy outfit family. I'll stick it here in the whip, and we'll put exclamation point matte for my material. That's probably good. Do that. So if I delete all of this, and if we import in this, and we'll come over here and we'll take a look at our surfaces, and all right, they're all nice and clean. So all the possible surfaces in the outfit, with the exception of the buckle and the belt and the button, are right here. So we like that. So now I can apply my material files onto here. I'm going to group these up too, just and we're going to save this file. Save as scene Crossroads. Is going to be I'm going to save this as the thumbnail file actually, which means we're going to set up a couple of things in the render settings for the thumbnails. I have a thumbs file. You know what? I'm just going to overwrite that because I have no idea what's in there. Oh, Valentino, I saw that. He was 90 something. Target exists. Do you want to replace it? Sure. Accept. All right, we're going to I'm going to make this a big square. I think we'll just make a, for right now, 1,000 by 1,000. Because while I'm working on this, I'd like to do renders, and then I have a utility that will generate out the thumbnails later. Oh, you know what? I already, yeah. So here, let's come over here to, actually, let's come up here to the DAZ libraries, run down here to the light presets, go into the iRay folder and look at these and figure out which one of these I want. I'm going to switch this to iRay for just a minute while I think about this. Do I want that? I'm going to adjust the exposure and things in a minute. I'm just kind of looking at the color of the background. Ow! Ow! All right, let's go to render settings. Let's make it square. Let's come down to tone mapping. Let's set that to 14. And let's change the burn highlights. I don't know how this got set to 1. There we go. I'm going to set burn highlights to 0.05 instead of 1. That's much better. All right, we're going to... Okay, I'm going to organize this a little better to make it easier to put materials on. And I want to save... I want to save like 6 different material sets. And they're going to kind of be the same as the map files. I'm not going to do that now. I'm just going to set this up and save one. And then we'll move on to Marvelous Designer. What am I doing? I'm going to come over here to surfaces. We're going to organize these a little bit using the... how's that? What is that thing? is it surface sets, something like that? Where is surface selection sets? That's it. We're going to make 3 surface selection sets. Let's add, this will be belt. Oh, belt set. And we're going to include belt end and belt pouch in that. And I'm going to add boot set. And then for this one, I want all the boot parts. And then everything else is on this map here. Okay, then we're going to add outfit. I also want to make a set just for make it easier to grab the trims. We'll do that too. Oops, I didn't want that. Can I just move you? Nope, I'm going to remove you. I'll add a set here. So boot set, belt set. Why does belt set not get saved? Okay, outfit. It's everything. Everything else. Looking good, looking good, looking good. All right, we're going to make a new set here. I'm going to call this one laces. It just makes it easier for me to grab all the lace and knot parts. So what I want for that is I want the chest laces. I want the laces on the side. And then I want the knot ends and the knots. And that should be good. This makes it easier for me to grab these things over here just by clicking on a thing instead of having to grab all the materials for the particular group. I'm going to accept that, and now we have these our little groups here. You can kind of see how it grabs the surfaces that I like. All right, let me just make sure my generic shader is on here. It is good. We're going to set up one set, save that. I'm going to hit save on this just to make sure I don't lose it. And I'm basically going to do the tan set, and it's going to be kind of like tan with brown highlights. So basically brown, 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 tan with brown laces, and we're going to add a trim on the bottom of that. So let's go get our materials. Our textures are in the runtime. Textures, me, Crossroads. We'll start with the boots. Should I make the belt separate? You know what? I think I'm going to not save the belt with this. Yeah, I think I'll save the belt by itself. And it'll be belt and buckle. That's it. So we're going to make a change to this. I'm just going to get rid of these and just stick them in dress or something for right now. So basically, I just need to get rid of those material names there. Tool settings. So I'm going to select that, and that, and I'm just going to assign it to, we'll just make it part of the dress for now. And then I'm just going to remove those. Then when I save the material file, these are the names that we're using. And let me just make sure. That's got a weird little color, but that doesn't make any difference. Okay. Is it just the shadowing or something? I don't know why that. Oh, it's because I have surfaces selected or something on that. Is that what it is? I have to do a clear selection on that. I do have to do. I probably saved it with a selection. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Anywho, let's start with outfit. I want to start with. I'm not going to do the black base color. I'm going to come back to the brown base color in a second. I do need the displacement map right there. I think I'm going to have my displacement go to 0.2 instead of, and we're going to set that to 6. Although the boots don't need displacement. All right, cutout opacity. I do have cutout opacity. I think we'll use that. Oh, there's a height map. Put that in here somewhere. Base bump. There we go. Boop. There's my normal map. Here's my metallicity map. There's our opacity map. There's a slide opacity on the fabric. And now I'm looking for, and I want the tan to be the base color here. Like that. So I'm going to make the laces brown, and then there's a little design that we're going to put at the bottom of the trim. So the dress hem gets a slightly different trim color map. That one right there. And then the laces. So there's our trim. Laces I'm going to do in brown. So take the brown and plop that right there. Looking good. Do I want that to stay? You know what? I'm going to make the shorts brown. I should have made a shorts group. Oh, well. It's easy enough to grab those, but I mean, still. And then we're going to do brown boots. So let's get the brown. Let's come over here to the boots folder. There's brown for the boots. There's our metallicity map. There's a height map. There's my normal map. And there's a roughness map. That's going to be the one of the base texture sets, I think. I could just get rid of all of these. I should have just deleted those. It really doesn't make any difference. So now if you select any, the dress, the shorts, or the boots, when we save this, you can change it to this setting. And this would just be outfit 01, tan. Although maybe I should, I don't know, I might redo some of this stuff. I might make the shorts separate. You know, so there would be like six dress textures. Actually, there's 12 dress textures because there's the worn versions. 12 short textures, 12 boot textures. I don't know how many belts. I think I like to have 8 belt textures. Anyhow, I'm going to save this for right now and move on. And we'll go to Marvelous Designer for a little while. Anyhow, let's hit save on this. Maybe I should just make the whole thing tan. You know what? I should just make the whole thing tan, and then I can mix and match later. I'll figure this out. I'm still kind of deciding how I want to organize things for this. I'm always changing my mind how to do those things. I'm in the wrong folder. We'll come here. And I'll just go people, Genesis 8, come over here. And I'm just going to save this as right in here. Material preset. Crossroads, rods, roads. I'm going to say 01 for now. Out it. And we'll just make sure we don't have any simulation settings. We don't, so I'm just going to accept that. Probably good. All right. All right, when this comes back, I'm going to hit. I'm going to close this down and we'll go to Marvelous Designer. I saw a dress that I kind of liked, so I'm going to try to do something similar to that over at Shein. Not that I will buy from Fast Fashion, but I will use it as a reference. We still be saving. All right, that's good. I'm going to close as. I'm going to say yes, we're going to save that for now. I'm going to close that up. I'm going to reopen Marvelous Designer. I'm going to take a quick look at kind of what's my inspiration. So I saw this outfit and it's kind of comes down, doubles up to the waist and then comes down again. And it kind of comes around the neck with a big bow. I have one of those and then it attaches. I might make it a little lower in the back if I can. We have this big collar. You know what? What I'm gonna do is I have a tie on my 70s outfit. We're gonna open that up and steal that out of there. And then I'm gonna use that on the back. And then we'll go from there. And I think maybe I'll make earrings and a bracelet for this outfit and some shoes. We'll see. So let's start with the G9 avatar. Actually, let me do file open. Let's go find the 70s outfit. Projects. It's probably in a folder called 70s. Groovy Summer. I think that was it. Although I ended up dropping Summer. I just called it Groovy. I want that one right there. And I'm doing this just because I want to steal this part right here. There's my proto belt. And I'm just going to take that and we're going to put it on the back of the neck. Can we just delete all of that? And that kind of leaves. So don't need you and you. You and you and you. And I'm going to measure this. So 30. So we're going to put like a 30 choker on here. I'll put that out of the way. And we'll just take that and line it up in the back and freeze it for now. I'll eventually attach that to our choker in the front. And you know what? I'm just going to deactivate. I have to unfreeze it to deactivate, don't I? deactivate and then hide that for now. All right, let's start with 150 and let's say 30, and I'm going to say okay, and we'll put that off to one side. And I'll make sure that's quad optimized. Kind of like that. And we'll just do a mirrored thing like that and sew these up. And I probably should just lose all of these and restart. Those are we're going to keep those. I like those. I might rename some of this stuff, but I'll just clear out the rest of these. And I'm going to rename that dress. I feel like I inadvertently deleted one too many. There we go. All right, let's see how that works. That seems like a good fit. Let's take a look at our stress map. You know what? That looks relatively comfortable. Just to turn that off. So I'm going to take some fabric. So let's put a waistband on here. I'll start at, say, 375. And we'll make it 50. This is just to anchor everything off of. Oh, that did not go. Let's try that again. 375. 50. Okie dokie. Quad optimized. I'll just put this on one side. I kind of want to have it sit down and around. Actually, yeah, I think I want to sit high because it's going to double over. This is going to come down here, double back up, and then we'll have, and we'll do a medium and a short version. We'll do that. Attach that to that, that to that. I got that backwards. Did I not control D that? I must have just copied and pasted it or something. I think we'll make this a little looser. I also don't have gravity on, do I? I have light gravity. Let's take a look at the stress map. You know, that's actually, but I want it to be a little looser and on the hips. So we'll just add a couple like that. I can't see the, I don't get the gizmo. I've got that on. All right, let's do that. And maybe a little looser. And I want to pull that out so it doesn't do a weird overlappy thing. All right, I think I'm going to use that as our anchor. And I'm just going to, I don't know, what do you call, I forget what the puckering thing's called. Damn it. Right, what's that? That's 405. So I'm gonna do an 810 panel and sew that to there. And then what I want is a panel that's gonna come here. It'll be a little long. It'll come out to here. We'll sew that into the and then I need another panel that's going to be in between. Anyhow, let's start with the lower part of the skirt. And I want it to come to the knees, and then we'll make a mini version. That's easy enough just to chop. So 810. And maybe, I'm going to say 1,000, but that's much too long for what I really want. But we'll start there. Set you to quad optimize. Move you down here. And then I'm just going to sew that to that. And we'll go ahead and freeze. Freeze those. And I'll just let this pop over into here. Pleated. No, not pleated. Oh, whatever the name of the Foley thing is. Don't you hate it when words just fall out of your brain and they're just gone? You know what? I'm going to do that so it sort of works its way around. All right, let's reset that. And why does reset never work? I have no idea. It says Control F right there, and then when I do it, nothing happens. It's a trap. I'm probably just sending secret messages back to the mothership. All right, we're going to adjust this up to about the knees. So we'll just start. I should probably just drag you up. Because this is going to be painfully slow. I don't know, is that in the right spot? I went a little too far. Maybe in there. Do that, and then we'll just sew the front and the back up. So kind of like that. And we'll probably run a line through there for the mini. Actually, I'm going to move this out of the way. Right through there for the mini, I think. Is that going to be, I don't know, let me just drop a line through there and see how it lines up in the back. That's probably going to be okay. We'll put a little bit of a hem on that. So you know what? I can do a cut and sew on that. So I can assign that a different, this up just a second. Let's put a 25. A nice. I'm not sure if I'm going to put a pattern on this hem. It's going to be kind of a pain in the tuchus. And we'll put another one down in here. Put that back. Select those two. Cut and sew that. Okay, so now what I want to do is kind of take this and sew it into here. And then I'm going to work on getting this top in here. So that's 810. And I'm going to want it to drop, I don't know, where's my line? I want it to drop in here, so I don't want it to be that long. That's 258. If I do 120, let's try 120. And I'm going to make it a little shorter than that, I think. So I'll do like 120 and 600. I'll say 600 and 120. And okay to that. Quad optimized. I'm going to sew this to this, and I'm going to hope that it kind of just falls over nicely. Let's put you back. No, you're all separated. Never mind. All right, let's sew you in and see if we can get that to sew here, and then hopefully it falls. I can actually, you know what, we'll sim it first. I probably should have moved it in under the arms. Let's redo that. We'll position this first. There, I'll put it right there so it doesn't have to fly through the arm. So it's going to go like that. And what I want it to do is flop down that way. And maybe a bit longer. All right, we're going to put a fold on here of about 360. Should get it to flip over. If I can find that. B, select that, fold angle, 360. And then we'll do that. That didn't seem to do anything. What if we say 100? All right, I wanted to kind of do that, and then this will attach to that edge. So I'm going to duplicate this to the other side, and I think I want it to be down a little bit longer. Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to put it down into here. And I think maybe I want you up a little higher. Or maybe we want this a little. It's pretty short. I'm still debating. I think maybe a little further down. And for further down, we are going after that. I think that's probably going to be good for now. And then I'm going to dupe this, flatten it out, and then that'll get sewn here, and we'll put an angle in here. So it kind of will come around to the back. And I'll probably curve that out a little bit. What do we got? We got 20 minutes.
I think I'll get most of this blocked out in 20 minutes. Let's do a dupe on that. I'm going to move it over this. We'll let all of that settle back in. All right, we're going to sew that together and that together. Let that settle in like that. You know what? I think I'm going to make a Greek outfit. It'll kind of use this kind of design too. And now let me get the top in here. So, and the top will go from here to here. Let's move this stuff so I can see what I'm doing. I didn't want to grab the collar. So my top will kind of have to run through here. So here, I'm just going to make a copy of that. I'm going to run you up a bit further. I'm going to reset you. And I want to leave that there. I'm going to put a point. You know what? Let's do a split right about there. And so that, let me do a split and let me specify 220 maybe. We'll try that. So that and that's going to be like 0. And then that's going to be the collar part. So I'm going to want to sew that to that. That was annoying. And then I want to sew. I got the wrong tool. Then I want to sew this to this. I'm going to just nudge part of this to get that to fix itself. Holy guacamole. What the fuck? Those look small. Oh, you know what it is? It's probably because of these all side to that. It's fine. It's fine. Did I get that sewn to that? I did. I'm going to specify a fold angle on that. I'll say 20. I think that'll be right. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to freeze this underskirt and the waistband for now. A, select, Control K, Control K. There we go. Oh, I didn't want that all the way over there. That's right. I didn't. We just want this in the front. Maybe like that. And I might curve this to fit a little bit better.
So now we're almost in the tweaking. So let's go ahead and dupe that over. And we'll sew the back up. And we'll sew the front. We'll eventually merge the front. So it's going to kind of look like that. I probably should put some probably need to put some elastic on these edges. So I think I'm going to curve. I think I'm going to bring this up a little, add a curve here, and put a little bit of elastic on this edge to maybe just tighten it up and get it to fit better. I don't know. And you know what? I might gather it up a little bit tighter in the neck too. Let's do that. Let's maybe just, where's the thing? We'll just turn a little elastic on there. Gonna tweak you just a little bit further. And maybe bring this in. Let's put simulation properties back to regular gravity. We're getting there. You know, the elastic makes a nice loop in there. Looks like a freaking sack. It looks so cute over there. And am I getting a little bit of poke through in here? Kind of like that. You know what? I'm just going to deactivate and hide those. Oops, it didn't like that. I may not make a long version of this. And I may pull that up a little higher. We'll see how this works. We'll activate. We'll deactivate. And we'll hide that. And I think maybe like that. And I think maybe I'll pull that up a little bit higher. So we'll push this down and we'll pull that up. I'll maybe just do a couple. We'll get it up maybe just an inch more. Well, 20 millimeters more. We'll see how that works. Do I have a fold angle on here? You know what? I'm going to set that to 180 so that it wants to. And I'm. All right, let's turn everything on. And I'm going to change that dress color. Oh no, that just went all the way to poop, didn't it? I think what I need is some strengthening on the belt. Yikes, got a call from Lending Institute with someone trying to use your name to get a car loan. Oh no. Catch you later, Art. That's a bother. I'm sorry, dude. I'm going to put elastic on here. We're going to set it to 100. I'm going to set that to 100. And now we'll do this and see if that holds the waist in place. Yeah, I think that does the trick. I know. It's kind of annoying that you have to spend so much of your time dealing with that shit. I think this is good. I'm gonna weld this stuff together, merge it together, so that this becomes all one piece. So that to that and merge, and then these to these and merge. Oh, overlapping patterns. You know what? Let's get rid of these points in here. Am I not selecting these points? There's a little. Have I got the right tool? What the frick? You know what? I'm gonna lose these, and then we'll try to merge them together. I laughed at a YouTuber who got a high-end car loan in their name, but I also just canceled your Express before you renewed it. I believe Amex is a bad sore loser. I personally haven't dealt with them, so I can't say for sure. All right, can I just merge you? Yes. Okay, let's see how this is looking. This is good. I want to change that color. I don't like that. It's too dark. I can't see. That's better. I don't know. I think that might be. Do I want to maybe make that back a little? It should be. I know. But that's okay. Trump will just pardon him. It's, actually, maybe not. It depends on what color the skin the person doing it is. Did I say that out loud? All right, I'm not gonna talk about politics. Never mind. My bad. My bad. All right, catch you later, Art. I hope it gets sorted out. Sounds like you got it under control. I want to, you know what? I'm going to bring this down a little bit more and add a little better curve to that, I think. Where are we at? I've got 7 minutes. I think I can, and I still want to get I still would kind of like to kind of get the knot in here. You're going to be a pain in the ass about this, aren't you? So I'm just going to grab you, drag you like that, switch over to here. I'm going to pull you around. Of course, you didn't do anything. I clicked on the line and it just like staring at me, going, "Oh, you wanted to do something." Yes. I think this is good. Let's see how this looks. Am I too far down now? Am I below the waistline? Is that my problem? Oh no. We don't want to be below the waistline. I'm below the waistline. Let's put it back up. I'm going to grab both of those and we'll head north again. I was probably good in the beginning. Let me see, am I right about there? Yeah, I'm right at the waistline. I like that. I'm just going to tweak this just a little bit. Like so. And I think I'm good. All right, let me see if I can get that knot tied onto the back of this. So let's take a look at our knot. I have to try to figure out what's what in here. So the 5mm knots that I was working with on the laces for the Crossroads dress is a real pain in the ass. And I'm never going to try to do anything that small again. But these are 30, and these might be okay. The secret is figuring out which part here needs to sew to which part here. I always have a hard, and it should be like one of these sews to this, and then this should sew to maybe over one of these. I don't know. You don't seem to be sewn to anything, which makes me think you're a, although you should be sewn to something. Here, let's bring that back. So activate, let's do that, and activate. Where'd you go? I lost it. Oh, Shift Q. There it is. What are you doing way down there? You were supposed to be deactivated. You know what? I'm going to bring it in. We're going to delete that. We'll bring it back in from the groovy. So let's save. This is going to be dresses. I'm going to call, what is this called? What does Shen think this is? Every time I hover over something, this stupid page does crap. Halter tie mini. We'll call it halter tie mini until I come up with a better name for it. File. Save as project. Let's head over to the dresses folder. Stick it in there. Dresses. Halter tie mini. Oops. I want a folder called that. Let's do my whip folder. And then we'll save this. All right, let's open up the 70s outfit again. Oh no, it did the thing again. It has phantom geometry. File, open, project, 70s. I'm going to save that knot as a 30mm bow as a garment, and then I can load the garment into the one I'm working on right now. So 70s. Far out, but this is groovy. Whip, and I want that one right there. You did advise them if they go through the loan, you will sue them. Then hung up. Oh, is that? All right. This down here is what I want right here. So I'm going to select that. I can't tell if I selected the whole thing or not. I did. Okay. File. Save as garment selected. This will be bow, not 30 millimeter. Okie dokie. Did I get all of it? I did. Okay. There's these clever little things here. So recent time mini. Do you want to save? No, I don't want to save. Say okay to that. It's 4 o'clock. I'm going to try to get this in, and then we'll call it a day. File import. File. Oh no, add garment. And there's the 30 millimeter knot we just saved. Say okay to that. I'm going to move that up there. So we're going to take you, bring you here, and flip you around. And then I need to figure out what gets sewn where. So I think that piece right there. It's always a little adventure. Okay, you are right there. You are a back piece. Okay. I think you are the other piece then. And I see an open end there. So I'm going to want to sew this into this. So we're going to delete that. I'm going to take these and nudge them in a little bit like that. So I want you to you. And then comes probably that one right there. Gets sewn to this. Nope, I selected the wrong thing. It's somewhere in here. So that's the one I just sewed to. No, it's not. I sewed to that one over there. So I want to sew this to this, I think. I'm going to deactivate this real quick. I want to strengthen these up and put them back. I want to freeze these for a second. Let's do that. See how this goes. I'm going to hit save right here. And we'll hit that one. Let me freeze everything but the collar. Oh, now I hate it when I start zooming in and out and it's busy doing things and I inadvertently end up where I totally didn't want to be. All right, Control K. Freeze everything. Freeze everything. Okay, and then we're going to unfreeze these. I'm going to strengthen those. And let's see how this goes. This might be a hot mess. Or it might brilliantly work properly the first time. It's pretty close. It's twisting around. I'm going to probably have to rebuild this knot so it's cleaner. So I'm just going to go back. We're going to call it a day here. That knot needs a little bit of loving to get it to. I have to flatten these pieces up, line them up a little better, and resew everything, and then sim. So everybody, thank you for being here. Hey, all you on the YouTube, like and subscribe. That would be awesome. Hey, if you're on Twitch, we're gonna go see if anybody's left on Twitch. We're gonna go see if there's anybody else on the Twitch today, and we'll go say howdy to them. And I will be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. for more stuff like this. I may be working on this dress, or we may still be working on the Crossroads. We'll see. Ideally, I'll have most of the Crossroads done tomorrow before stream. So we might make shoes and earrings and maybe some bracelets. This doesn't need a necklace because you don't see the neck. But anyhow, this is heading in the right direction, I think. It's a little sacky looking. That's okay. All right, let's see who's on. DJ Stulu's on. That's an option. I'm going to roll down to the bottom of my list. He's a DJ friend. So maybe we'll go over and say hi to DJ Stulu. If there's another more immediate candidate, I feel like we probably should go over and say hi to. I think DJ Stulu's it for today. Our good friend DJ Stulu. We'll do that. So if you can hang out for the raid, that would be cool. Here's some raid calls. If you're not a subscriber, you can use that. If you are a subscriber, you can use the sub raid call. Hopefully resolved. You called. Oh, it's going so fast. Oh no, I typed too much shit. You called Prestige Financial. The caller ID matches the actual business to reassure them you're not trying to buy a car. There you go. Hopefully they're not a scam trying to squeeze information out of you. Anyhow, we'll be back tomorrow. What am I doing? Hey, buy my stuff at Daz. That would be cool. Hey, once again, Dapster Dan, thank you for that resub. Check out my friend Dapster Dan. Super cool cat. I love hanging out with Dapster Dan. I think he's been streaming on Thursdays, so keep an eye out for that. I gotta kind of try to remember to catch Dapster Dan. So check out our good friend Dapster Dan there. Loved the resub, man. Appreciate you. And I know a whole bunch of other people in here. I think we saw Leo in here. Leo in the house. CS Bond was hanging out here. Our good friend Napsmore was in here. I still have to make a special command just for Napsmore. It's on the list of things to do, which I keep forgetting. There it is. So do that. So let's go over and say hi to DJ Stulu / raid. Is it DJ Stulu these days? It is still DJ Stulu. Okay. Spinning the tunes for your listening enjoyment. Control V. Activate. Did that work? I think that worked. Alrighty, raid has been started. Appreciate everybody being here. I hope you all have a good rest of a Monday or Tuesday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. And hasta la vista, baby.